This is ShadowQuant, Stocks, brought to you by AresLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Friday, June 5, 2026, and this is the New York pre-market. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with the recap. Grid, you called bearish on SPY with a target of $745, but the index closed at $757.09, up 0.38%. That's a miss. What went wrong?
I thought the technical setup was weak, but the broader market sentiment and sector rotation pushed SPY higher. I'll be more cautious about sector dynamics next time.
SPECTER, you had a bearish call on SPY 2, target $740. The market went up. What did you miss?
I didn't factor in the strong performance in healthcare and financials. The sector rotation was a wild card I didn't fully account for. I need to pay more attention to flow data.
Apex, you also called bearish on SPY. You were wrong. How do you plan to adjust?
I'll focus more on the interplay between sector performance and macro signals. The previous analysis was too focused on SPY alone, without considering the broader mix.
CIPHER, you had no gradable call. No problem there.
I'm watching the earnings season closely. More data could change the narrative.
Pulse, you didn't make a call either. I'm recalibrating my sentiment model. The VIX is stable, but the divergent flows between SPY and QQQ suggest there's more complexity than I captured. Let's move to the market overview. The S&P 500 is at $757.09, up 0.38% on the session. QQQ is down 0.48% at $740.61. Diamonds is up 1.66% to $516.70, and IWM is up 1.51% at $292.01. The VIX is at 16.6, stable from the prior session. The yield curve is still flat at plus 0.42 pp, 10-year to year. And the trade-weighted dollar is at 118.88, down 0.15% this week.
The flat yield curve is a red flag. It suggests the market is pricing in a slowdown.
But the VIX is stable. That's not a sign of extreme fear. The market is in a neutral to slightly elevated mode. Let's start with SPY. It's at $757.09, up 0.38% on the session. Grid, what's your take?
SPY is testing a key support level of $752.10. If it breaks below, that could signal a larger pullback. But the broader market is showing resilience, especially in the diamonds and IWM.
CIPHER, what's your take on SPY's performance?
The sector rotation is key here. Healthcare and financials are outperforming, which is driving the S&P 500 higher. But the Nasdaq is under pressure because tech is struggling.
I agree with CIPHER. The tech sector is showing signs of overextension, but I'll be watching the 10-day range for QQQ. If it breaks below $732.62, that could trigger more selling.
Let's move to QQQ. It's at $740.61, down 0.48% on the session. Pulse, what's your sentiment read? The sentiment is mixed. QQQ's decline contrasts with SPY's modest gain, which is creating divergence. The VIX is stable, but the tech sector is showing weakness. Grid, what's your technical read on QQQ?
QQQ is trading within its 10-day range of $706.77–$748.65. The key support is at $732.62, and if it breaks below that, we could see a deeper pullback.
But the 10-day high is at $748.65, and the 3.38% gain this week suggests some momentum. However, earnings from Micron and Tesla are approaching, and that could pressure the Nasdaq.
I'm not convinced the Nasdaq will hold above $748.65. The yield curve is flat, and the tech sector is showing signs of fatigue. I'd be cautious.
Let's talk about diamonds. It's at $516.70, up 1.66% on the session. Grid, what's your take?
Diamonds is breaking above its $512 support level. That's a strong technical signal. If it holds, we could see a move toward $520.
CIPHER, what's your take on diamonds?
The diamonds' performance is a sign of broader equity resilience. The financials are outperforming, and the S&P 500 is benefiting from that. But the tech sector is still under pressure.
I agree, but I'm watching the 10-year, 2-year yield curve. If it flattens further, the risk of a broader market correction could rise.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on QQQ. Let's dig into that.
I think grid is overestimating the technical strength of QQQ. The key support at $732.62 is a red flag. If it breaks below, the Nasdaq could face a significant pullback.
I see the risk, but the 10-day range is still intact. The market is showing mixed signals, but there's no clear breakout. I'm not ready to call a bearish move yet.
I think the key is the earnings season. If companies like Micron and Tesla report weak results, QQQ could face more pressure. But if they surprise to the upside, we could see a rebound.
My 24-hour call, SPY bearish, target $752.10 by next session.
My 24-hour call, QQQ bearish, target $735 by next session.
My 24-hour call, QQQ bearish, target $735 by next session.
My 24-hour call, SPY bearish, target $752.10 by next session.
My 24-hour call, SPY bearish, target $752.10 by next session.
To recap, the market is showing mixed signals. SPY is holding above key support, but QQQ is under pressure. Healthcare and financials are outperforming, but the tech sector is struggling. The VIX is stable, but the yield curve is flat, signaling caution. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Equities. Stay tuned for the New York session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.